Yeah, we have to go ahead and do it. The Barbie film review. This is the Cool Club. I am the Glitch Trap. Shout out to the Cool Club minions. I want to just go ahead and get right into it. The good, the bad, and the ugly of the Barbie film. For one, before I start though, I don't see why they even made this film. Like, Barbie is not the type of toy that requires a movie. Like, first of because Barbies, like, and you see this in the film. There's many Barbies. Like, and the main one is the Margot Robbie. She's playing generic Barbie. Like, Barbie is just it embodies a lot of traits of all women. It's not just one, and you didn't stereotypical Barbie is who Margot Robbie was, and you didn't need that. This film here, it was kind of, you had a huge, the campaign and the rollout for this movie was amazing. Like, this, I've never seen a campaign like this. I haven't seen a campaign like this in a long time for a film that you wouldn't think that will produce much money, like, or gain much revenue. But hey, maybe these the filmmakers know something that I don't. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the good of the film. The outfits, the set pieces, the the Barbie land is what it's called before its kingdom, or Barbie land. It's like itself is just it's a incredible visual journey there. It takes you on an incredible visual journey. It's incredible visual set pieces. It looks like Barbie's dream, like a life-size Barbie dream house. It kind of reminds you of that scene in Beetlejuice where Beetlejuice had shrunk, where they had shrunk down. And they was like playing with toy cars, and Beetlejuice was playing with them like toy cars. It's that to the 10th power, because it's like you see a toy diorama, but it's made real, and you real people are moving. So depending on, if you saw this at the movie theater, the visuals could be incredible there. Um, Another good thing about the movie, well, is three good things: is Ryan Gosling, Will Ferrell, and Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie, of course, she does what she needs to do to just be she plays aloof, and like when she goes to the real world, which I don't get, and I'm gonna get into that. She plays an aloof character very well, like just like a fish out of water character being introduced to new things. She does, and I think she does that by, like, she gets a lot of that by playing Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn is just aloof a lot of times, and just, hey, hi guys, and just does things. And so Margot Robbie she didn't really have to tap into too much range. But Ryan Gosling, I'll give it to him. Ryan Gosling, like, to be in this movie and to have some of the scenes that he's strapped to have to muster, to get out, to spew out of his mouth, like, those, some of the things are cringe. Some of the situations he's in, some of the things they make him say are just cringe, like, and disrespectful. Like, you understand? Like, and what do I mean by that is, unless this movie was meant to be like a satire or something like that. No, this isn't. This was a kids movie that was meant to inspire people, inspire children, boys and girls. You understand? Mainly girls, mainly. This is, and obviously this movie was, I'm gonna get into that. This movie was too heavy handed on on supporting one gender while just totally just destroying another. That's not how kids movies are supposed to work. Like, I don't get that at all. But to deal with the stuff that Ryan Gosling had to deal with, just by being Ken, and listening to some of this stuff, like, I commend him for pulling off for pulling it off. And basically, I can't say who Ken never had a personality. Neither did Barbie. So we don't know. Like, again, they're both just general people. Ken is just a name. Barbie's just a name. Barbie's just one blonde, like of another million blonde women, and Barbie's has many ethnicities. In this movie, they even they had pregnant Barbie, and I'm gonna get to that. So I've covered the good. That's about it. Like I said, Ryan Gosling did what he had to do. He to bring to bring whatever life he could to the character Ken, and I can imagine that that's how Ken will probably feel. If this is how Barbie if this is how Barbie acted, there's a scene in here where Ken, like, after, and it's like at the almost towards the end of the film, where Ken tells Barbie, like, he basically expresses her emotions, where she finally comes out, gets out of her own head, and she understands, empathizes with the other human being who happens to be a man, who is her alleged boyfriend or partner. She tells her, he's like, it's you. You're the one who caused all of this. Like, she had no consideration for Ken. And they try to press this in the movie. They try to press that Ken's or just Ken. He's just Ken. He's just this. So, like, that's part, and that's just segues me into the bad. The silly storyline, for one, the silly storyline that suspends reality with no explanation. They don't even tell you. Will Ferrell is supposed to be the head of Mattel, the company that created Barbie. And he doesn't even let you know why or how she comes from Barbie land and is just a real woman. Barbie is a doll. Do you understand? That's like a doll. So that's like a doll walking into Will Ferrell's office and saying, I want to be, I'm in the real world now. I want to be a real woman. The doll doesn't have flesh. The doll is made of plastic. So how is Margot Robbie in the real world as Margot Robbie? Men were recognizing her. Ken came to the real world too. Men and women recognize them. Humans recognize them as life-size beings. How is that possible? No one explained that. This is like, you want to suspend reality a little bit in kids' movies, but you need some type of explanation. Don't just treat us like that. That was bad. The ending itself is bad, and that has something to do with what I just explained. Barbie has she's a doll. They manufacture them. Unless Mattel was housing normal, real human beings in some facility, and and treating them like how they and treating them how they treated them, and control their environment in some fake microcosm, then that would be something different. But that wasn't the case, because you saw that Barbie didn't drink. She didn't eat. Barbie didn't drink or eat real food. You understand? So so that means she was a doll, in fact. But how does she just immediately just come? They didn't transition into the real world. She just walked from the studio in Barbie Land to the real world. And that was horrible. That was just bad, laziness. This movie, that was just bad, lazy writing. Greta Gerwig, you did yourself a disservice on that story, and just trying to push this certain things and tropes, your interpretations of Barbie, down our throats. We didn't and you didn't do it in a coherent manner. This movie was not coherent on what the theme it was trying to portray, the mood it was trying to portray. Like, what you don't want in films is cringe moments to where you just like, ugh, what? Will Ferrell had some of those moments. There was just straight cringe. He's talking about tickle fest, and I sometimes want to have a tickle fest in the office or something. It's like, man, what? Don't nobody want you a CEO of a company. No CEO has ever said that I just want to have a tickle fest with my fellow male employees. Like, you might want to go get yourself checked out. But so that brings me to the ugly of the film. Yeah, that's the ugly, or is the underlying wicked theme of the film. And that's a feminist agenda. It's men, women are good, men are bad. That's it. They try to in no account, they tried at the end try to give Ken and the Kens a little bit of respect, just a little bit. Here, we'll give it to you. We'll like, it's everything is the reverse of the real world. you know I mean, it's the reverse of how, and the stereotype is that men are, all men want to see women in as slaves, or as bimbos, just with no brain at all, and just running around in servitude to them. That's that is the running theme of the film in the real world. And in Barbie land, it's the total opposite, which is a perfect utopia where women run everything and men are their slaves, and they basically disregard all of the men's feelings, emotions, and things like that. So it's a little bit more unfair and torturous in Barbie land for men than it is for women over here in the real world, who get everything for men, by being submissive and nice, and just doing what they do, naturally, and things like that. And men giving them all the things and accolades for nothing. As whereas when men in Ken land, they have to actually work. They have to work, and they still have to go to Barbie land and have her talking about this girls' night every night, to where she don't even give Shokin any love, and this is supposed to be her boyfriend. She tries to ration him just any affections and things like that, while he's basically pouring his all into her. Yeah, that's some horror. That's some horror movie stuff for your for that ass. And that definitely, if you watching this and you just like looking and you really putting any thought to this, you shouldn't do that, because you'll look at the Barbies as the enemy. Like, you shouldn't even put any thought to that, because if Ken is geared just like Barbie is built to be like this, and basic, like you can imagine the internal tortures that's going on with Ken's. They fight, like, and you can see that when he goes to the real world and he comes back, and he comes back and he gives that knowledge to the other Kens. You'll see things start to change. And but the wokeness of this movie is another part of the ugly, man. Like, it's just super woke. This film is super woke. This is discouraging girls to be mothers. It's trying to tell you that you don't have to discourage any women to be mothers in order to empower them, or that's where your power lies. You understand? That's a huge part of women's power. So you don't have to discourage them from doing that, while trying in order to encourage them to pursue anything that they want to do. You could do whatever you want. It's in 2023. But being a single mother is not gonna help you do that. This movie, again, I just spoke on that. It alludes to the lie that all men are bad and are expendable and here just to be used. That's not a theme that you want to portray to young girls, and that's not something that Barbie stood for. You understand? I don't like, if you really go to the creator of Barbie, I don't think that she's like, yes, she made it to where as time progressed, Barbie became something to show girls that, again, there's many women out here, many different women, many representations. There are many women out here, and they still made it to where Barbie was a feminine icon, and to where she didn't push any like her and Ken. There was never push that she didn't need Ken, or Ken was more important. Like, this is something new that this person introduced, Greta Gerwig introduced into the film. And it's a lot of things, like I said, that you'll just see that's heavy-handed on the wokeness, to where you just like, ugh. some lines where there's some lines in the film to where you just cringe and just like, ew, like this shouldn't even be in the Barbie film. Um, and it's another part that I'm gonna just. This is just something that was cringe for me. Maybe not for anyone else. This is the ghost that was some ghost. The creator of Barbie, the ghost is haunting is haunting the offices of Mattel. Okay. And in that and the spirit, it's the spirit of Mattel's co-founder, Ruth Handler is who it is. And she explains that Barbie's story has no set ending and her ever evolving history surpasses that of her roots. Like that was heavy handed. And that explain what that kind of tries to retcon what I just explained. That Barbie was never meant to be some feminist icon or symbol. That wasn't the creation, what the intents were from Ruth Handler. So the ending I already covered. I'm not gonna spoil it. That's in the bad, but that's a pretty bad ending. You're not gonna want to see that. I mean, like, this isn't like you're not gonna want to see a sequel of this. Barbie, this has no sequel. It has none. This movie is not set up for sequels. This movie is a one-off, and it could have been 30 minutes, and it would have covered, what it needed to cover. None of this was all just a big event. This was just a big event for women, and that's it. But it turns out this is gonna just not be Warner Bros. Like, this isn't gonna. They've already made a lot of money. The budget was 128 million, and they've made 472 million from the campaign alone. But this film isn't gonna go down as a classic. You don't. This isn't a film with replay value. You don't want to see this again unless you just want to see the visuals. The acting wasn't great. I mean, Margot Robbie pretty much plays herself. She just, it's the same. It's the same. So, with that being said, I give this Barbie movie a 4 out of 10. I give Barbie a 4 out of 10. Yes, 4. I almost gave it a 3, you know. But the set pieces alone, Ryan Gosling, Will Ferrell, and all of this rollout, like the whole everything mattered with seeing this film. All the movie theaters have pink themed food, all of that. So I'll give them the extra point for the rollout and things like that. I'll include that. But a 4 out of 10 on this film. Like, this is not a film you want to watch again. This is a film that has cringe moments. This is a film that's very heavy-handed with its message, and it's supposed to be a children's film. At certain times, you'll be confused at what you're watching. The ending sucked. So with that being said, hey, this is the Glitch Trap. Bang, bang, bang. I'm gone.